Hello. Okay, so this is the first part of me doing my walkthrough on how to build a cleaning database. So here we go. So I've already made a folder. I've called it cleaning database, and here's the stuff from the lovely Excel BTech Pearson people, or whatever they're called, and here's the data log. So the first thing we do is we go to New and then select Microsoft Access Database. There we go. And as usual, let's give it a sensible name. So there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get my spec up on the page and probably work half and half, because that's a pretty good way of working. So I'll have this up so I can refer to it, and we'll get the database up, and we can all hopefully follow along with that. There we go. Okay, so I've got access up, and I'm just gonna size it so I can get most of the stuff I want on the screen at once. Yes, let's enable content. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to import the external data, and that's dead simple. So we go to external data and we got a text file, then we browse for it. This is why you need to put things in the right place, and mine's on my desktop, and cleaning database, and there it is, and we click open, then we click OK, and the wizard starts. So first things first, let's get the data in. Now there is this advanced button. You're probably not really going to need to play with this, but if you want to play around with things to a great level, it's something you might want to look at. So I'm just going to click next, and the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure I've clicked first row contains field names, and there we go. And as you see, there's our field names made. Okay, so next. Now this is the point where we can start playing with a few of the details that we've got. I'm not going to do that because I always find it much more helpful to play with the details once we've got them into tables, but that's just me. Okay, it says let access add primary key. Now we're going to need primary keys, but we're not going to select primary keys at this point because we're going to need to chop everything down into separate tables, so we adhere to the third normal form. And is that on here? No, it's not. I don't have a mark. Do I have a mark scheme? No, right, I don't have a mark scheme, but for further videos I will get a mark scheme. As I say, I'm only really looking at doing the tables and maybe the relationships at this stage. So again, I can click next. An import date. I'm not going to change the name of this. There is a mark in the mark scheme about importing the data in, and I'm purposely just going to leave it as whatever it's being called, because we're not going to use this as a proper table. This is the trick now. I would like a wizard to analyze my table after importing data. Now, this is going to be useful. We are going to use a wizard. Sadly, it's not a particularly good wizard. It's more Rincewind as opposed to a Gandalf. And if you don't get the joke there, you need to read more Terry Pratchett. So we're going to click finish. The wizard is now ready to analyse your new table. Would you like to continue? Yes, we would. We're going to let the wizard decide. And I'm going to click yes. Right. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, and you all know that this is quite an irritating little piece of the way it's all been laid out. We need to make sure our tables sensible tables. So again, we're trying to get things to the third normal form. If you don't know what that means, if you have a look at the notes that I gave you, those PowerPoint notes, it explains third normal form there. But let's look at what we've got. So we'll go for this table, table 2 first. And you'll see that the first problem that we've got is somebody can't spell supervisor. Now, this has come from the exam board, and 50% of me says this is the exam board trying to trip you up to see if you're going to actually change the name of things. The other part of me just wants to say, no, the exam board are incompetent and they can't spell. And that's really rich coming from me, because you all know, certainly I'm one of those two things. I can't spell. Yeah. Okay, no more jokes. We're just going with the can't spell bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my supervisor ID over to another supervisor table. There we go. Oh, that causes a bad thing to happen. So we're just going to wait for that for a moment. I'm going to move my supervisor to there. And now I'm going to try my supervisor ID, and it works perfect. So if I look through my tables now, there is nothing more that's to do with supervisors in any of the other tables. So I've now got my supervisor table. So I'm just going to rename that, and I'm going to call it TBL underscore supervisor. Perfect. Now remember, when we're naming things, we need to be using appropriate naming conventions. So all tables, for my money, TBL underscore whatever you're going to call the table. For forms, it's FRM, then you underscore. Queries, QRY underscore, and reports, RPT underscore. If you don't name things properly, you will hemorrhage marks. Okay, so we're going to click OK, and we've given that a nice name. So the next thing we're going to do with this one is we're going to create a cleaners table. So TBL cleaning. No, we're just going to call it TBL cleaners. I was thinking of calling it TBL cleaners staff, but no, we'll go for TBL cleaners. Okay, so we've got surname, we've got name, surname, telephone, cleaner ID. So I'm just going to move that to the top. Makes a bit more sense to have it there. Yeah, that's all good. So we've now got a cleaners table again. All that has is cleaners in it. So we're just going to move that to the side a moment. So we've got this now. We've got cleaning service date and job star rating. And then we've got cleaning service. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call this cleaning service. Okay, now some of you are probably going, well, why? Well, because if we put cleaning service with the date and the job star rating, we're going to be duplicating information, which means we're not going to be adhering to third normal form, which means we lose marks. So because it's just, we're almost using this as a simple lookup table. So we're just going to keep it as that. And then I click OK, happy days. Let's move that there. Right. Perfect. And then we've got cleaning service date and job star rating. And again, TBL underscore, what should we call this? We're going to call this TBL ratings. Okay, righty. So we now have 4 tables. They're all done. They're looking reasonably spiffy. We do have a problem, but we'll come to that in a moment. And we'll click next. So now we need to make sure that we've got good primary keys. Remember, primary keys we don't duplicate. So cleaner ID, that sounds like a good shout for a primary key. So we just click the little key thing here and we go for that as a unique identifier. Now, badly spelled supervisor ID, again, we're going to put that as a primary key. I'll show you how to change that later. We've got cleaning service ID, perfect. And then here we've got cleaning service date and job star rating, and we've got a generated unique ID, and that's done it for us. So at the moment, we're pretty good. We're still not in third normal form, and that's because of this. We've got supervisor email, which is perfect, and then we've got supervisor. Now, the supervisor's name, and I know the name for one of the supervisors is Doc Robinson, so I'm going to use that as my example here. To be in third normal form, the name, or each field even, each field in this case, needs to be atomic, which means we have one value. So Doc would be first name, Robinson would be the surname. Okay, but we'll show you how to change that in a moment. So we've now got our 4 tables, they're in reasonably good fettle, and we'll click next. This would now allow you to create queries. I'll do queries in my next video. At the moment I'm just going to click finish, and we're going to alter some of these tables. And it's opened them all up for me. I'm just going to close that down. Binky, binky, binky. All done. So we've got our 4 tables. So let's go and have a look at this supervisor table to begin with, because we know we need to make some alterations to that. So right click, design view, and we've got a typo which we can just quickly alter, and then I'm going to just alter this. So we've got, see, I can't spell either. First name, and then surname, okay, and they're going to be short text. Perfect. So we now need to just alter these to make sure this all works. So I'm going to click on view, so it asks me to save the table, click yes. Okay, so here we go, we're just going to open these up so they're a little easier to see. So there's the first name, we're just going to leave that there, and I'm just going to Control X to copy, and then Control V to paste. X to copy, V to paste, Control X, Control V, Control X, Control V. And brilliant, we've now got this table is now in good shape because our values are now atomic, and that's vital for third normal form. And we're just going to hit the save button up here. Happy days. Now before we go, if we look here at relationships, oh yeah, now this is what we want. So we have a fully relational 4-table database, and we're just going to quickly go to edit relationship on one of these. And what I would do, yeah, because we've got here our relationship types, one to many, and you'll notice that cascade delete related records, I would just quickly go edit and just stick those in there. Happy days. There we go, lovely. Okay, so we're just going to take one quick look at this, and we're going to take a look at our tables. So, yep. All our information is in. We've got our primary key, cleaner's name, cleaner's surname, telephone number, email, gender, and we've got a lookup table here. That's cool. We've got our cleaning service and our cleaning service IDs. Perfect. We've got our ratings, and finally we've got our supervisors. Perfect, and we've got our relationships. Now this is a super important print screen, but I'm probably going to do some videos on the write-up, and I'll discuss those in a moment. And you'll hear there's Ollie the cat, and he approves of this database, as you can tell by that meowing if it was picked up on the mic. Is there anything I want to discuss further to that? Oh, let's have a look. No, I think at this point I just want to discuss how we're going to put the database together. I'll do other videos on how we're going to put the document together. So, yeah, there we go. That's how we do the tables. And we're done. I'll catch you for the next one.